sounds like you can go to hell or you can be in charge of Donald Trump's social media. You choose.
Well, think about what Judge Goron in the New York Attorney General's case did, which is there are now essentially two babysitters. There are two monitors, corporate monitors, and so that is a model for what could happen here, which is saying, you know, all of this sort of texting and Truth Social stuff has to be overseen by somebody. In fact, it could be one of the monitors in that case who has to do it.
Jesus.
Donnie, do you need to take that?
16 years of the honest network, that's never happened. Right?
Honestly, you know, you're welcome to.
It's not Michael Cohen.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
The other thing that the judge could do is say, you know what, I'm going to find you responsible for it and find that you have violated the gag order multiple times. And you know what? I'm going to sentence you later. I want to see what happens. And then also if there's a conviction here, he can also say, I want you to know, and your lawyers can tell you this, that your conduct and the violations of the gag order are relevant to the sentence that I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
In other words, if you're thinking about what's going to, the main goal here is how do you push him back so that he is not threatening jurors and witnesses.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And so all of those are, if you don't want to jail him yet, and I think the judge probably doesn't want to do that yet, and he doesn't want to create that distraction. I mean, I think Donald Trump desperately wants that to be the story because he does not want the story to be David Pecker's testimony, which was so, for all the reasons you're talking about, his cheating. He wants it to be like, look how unfair this is. So there are tools in the toolkit for him.
Donnie, let me just ask you, I mean, all of this is happening in a legal context. We have Andrew and Claire and Sue to help us make sense of it. But in terms of human behavior, some of it is so understandable, right? I mean, he's so unreliable that one of his lawyers, a female attorney, is going to be put in charge of his phone. You know, that's like 10-year-olds, right? On their first experiences with social media, they turn their phone in, you know, at the end of the day. I mean, there's something so disqualifying, not just about being president, but about being in charge of anything or anyone, about how not just the facts of the crimes that have him on standing trial criminally, but on his conduct as a defendant.
You know, ironically, the thing that's going to win this election for Biden, I'm going to go to the election and come back to this, is if we get more and more Trump. Because that's what happened in 2020.
Yes.
The more Trump is out there. In a weird, bizarre way, although I said earlier this makes him look neutered, it's keeping him quiet, out of the limelight. You know, I want this trial to be, to Andrew's point, fast. Get him back out there. Get him in front of the public eye. Because it's easy to kind of dismiss, or interesting, in a new CNN poll, they had his presidency as a tremendous success. I mean, the more he's out there, the worse he's going to be. So I like gag orders, but I don't like gag orders because I want to hear his voice out there. And the more he shows himself, the more Biden has a better chance of winning. So ironically, he's in this little encampment now that kind of contains him. Let's get him out. Let's get him back on the streets.
So interesting. So you're going back tomorrow? You'll be there?
I will be, yeah, early Tuesday morning again.
Yeah. All right, and you'll be back here to report.
If you'll have me.
Can I ask you a quick question, Andrew?
Go ahead.
Handicap at this point. I mean, it's early in the case, but you obviously know this better than anybody. How you feeling about things?
I mean, David Pecker was a wonderful witness, and it was a smart strategy to start with him, as you talked about last week. I mean, having it understood that is the other principal, that you have Donald Trump as a principal, David Pecker as a principal. They were making the deal, and it makes Michael Cohen very much, as you put it, a staffer. I mean, it was just a smart move, and he did well. You know, the defense laid certain little, Easter eggs that they're going to try and capitalize on. I think they're going to try and say Michael Cohen had a side deal with Keith Davidson, and they did this on his own.
They needed a home equity loan for. I mean, it's like here's the piece. I'm not a lawyer, but you have to benefit in some way. The guy ended up in solitary.
Right.
Nicole, this is why the defense will never have you as a juror, right?
I've been picked twice. Yeah. Anyway.